10th of June 2000. This report was originally written in German and translated by myself so more people can read it. It's my 112th trip on Salvia divinorum, in 1.5 years. As you see, I really love this wonderful plant. Mostly because she can give you a very interesting psychedelic experience without changing your mood too much as with high doses of mushrooms. 2 hours ago and directly before the Salvia trip, I smoked some weed. I filled my bong head 3/4 with crushed salvia leaves and put 15 drops of a salvia extract on it. That's my highest dose until now, and I would estimate it equals all in all around 0.5 grams pure leaves. I sat down comfortably as ever and smoked the head with one hit empty, keeping the smoke in my lungs as long as possible. Then I closed my eyes. In the background there was playing some nice psychedelic trance. Music never disturbs me, but chats of persons, at a party, disturb the trip very much. Within 3 to 5 seconds my body transformed. I was part of a spheric surface, like looking into a large sphere. Then I totally lost my normal body feeling. The higher the dose, the faster and more complete I leave my body. Like on another strong trip, my thinking process stops very abruptly. I was like a consciousness kicked out of its body and its reality. In the beginning everything was waving. I saw something like a wall with red stones which was sinus-shaped. In that moment I felt the presence of a woman. She was 35 to 40 years old, had dark blonde wavy hair down to the shoulders. She was very friendly but also a bit confused, and I had the feeling that I know this woman. There was a kind of communication between us which seemed like telepathy. The presence of the woman seemed totally real, like she was standing beside me and we know each other. This all lasted for about 10 to 15 seconds. In this initial state I still had a kind of own consciousness and own personality. Then I went to the next level. There were reality discs which were moving through me without stop. Every disc was about 30 centimeters 1 foot wide, and there was an equally wide space between them. One such disc took about 1 second to pass me, my point of consciousness. I couldn't think longer. With every syllable of a word, a new reality disc, wall moves through me. And in every disc I was another person, or I was in the head of this person beside the original personality of this person. I had the feeling that some are shocked about having me in their head. While I was in the head of such a person, and so also in a disc, the disc was expanded to a complete reality, which was my actual one. During this phase my old self was gone nearly completely. My whole personality was away. There were only small parts of me left. It was a kind of sudden death. I was more these other persons than myself. But there was an instance of me that still existed. Pity, but I can't remember anything special from these worlds, because they changed too rapidly. It was like zapping fast TV. All these realities seemed totally real, and I had the feeling that the people there believe that their reality is the only one. It was like flying through a medium which consists of realities. Like a big alien laboratory full of realities and people inside not noticing the other realities and people there. This whole experience was very lucid, and I can't believe that salvia can cause unconsciousness. Maybe you are only a totally other person and can't transport that back to your normal life and lose the memory of the experience. Sometimes I recognized the music, which functioned great as an anchor telling me that my body was still in my normal world. Slowly I came back, and I was a bit shocked for some minutes, because the realness made that experience so strange. I never had such a strong loss of my personality. Everything happened very fast, leaving no time to react. You can't think analytically about the experience on the peak. It was not a journey with typical trippy elements, but more a heavy and lucid reality switch. If I would stay longer in such a reality, I would accept it as my normal one. It's very strange to be other persons in other spacetimes for a while. It was like a journey of my mind through a 4-dimensional space where all 3-dimensional worlds, I count here time not as a dimension, were separated by a kind of membrane. All these other realities are directly here separated by another dimension. On this trip I was like a 4-dimensional being which can now view from this higher point on the different 3-dimensional realities. It's nearly unbelievable that such a state of being is created by a drug. Such a trip can affect your beliefs about the world, death, reality, very much. The heaviest thing is the fact that all these other realities seem to be as real as our normal one. You can get the feeling that we are silly animals trusting our reality completely without questioning it. After such a trip, I ask myself how far I can trust this reality and what consciousness is. In spite of the fact that this trip was really heavy, I kept sitting with eyes closed without moving. This was one of my most interesting and bizarre trips. I was shaken to the soul for some minutes. I also don't know how far such a trip may change the worldview of younger people. Well, I am 23 smiley face. After such a journey, I have more questions than at the beginning and the unbelievable comes nearer. Thanks, Salvia, for the transmission. Schizo.